Blue Streak is a movie about Miles Logan, a jewel thief played by Martin Lawrence that works with a crew to steal a diamond worth $17 million. Unfortunately, the heist goes wrong and he has to stash the diamond.
You hid a diamond in the police station.
And now he has to pretend he's an LAPD detective. Blue Streak has been one of my favorite films since it came out back in 1999. In fact, it was the first DVD I ever bought. The reviews for Blue Streak are a mixed bag. Some say that Martin Lawrence is living in the shadow of Eddie Murphy, and that Blue Streak is a poor man's Beverly Hills Cop. Others enjoy it for the action comedy that it is, highlighting the chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Dave Chappelle. But who's right? Let's find out. The people that like it, they're the ones that are right. Our first review comes from Variety. Blue Streak by Robert Kohler. In the wake of a summer of capers and cons, Blue Streak arrives as a dull afterthought and a sorry vehicle for the comic expression of Martin Lawrence. Off the bat, I don't like the reviewer's opinion, but I do like how the review starts. It tells you he doesn't like the film, and he doesn't like it because of the plot of the film itself. That's what it seems. It's not because of Martin Lawrence. I think he's kind of stating that Martin is a great comedic actor, but he's saying that the movie itself is a dud already. It's a dud on arrival. In fact, as he has displayed before, Lawrence can be most effective in straight dramatic moments, and that is just what he delivers here in a well-paced 13-minute prologue as a heist crew led by ruthless deacon Peter Green bypasses security at a downtown LA skyscraper to nab a large mega million-dollar diamond. I'm glad he starts by highlighting the intro, because I think the intro really sets the tone of the film, and clearly the reviewer sounds like he liked the intro, because it really grounds the film. It shows you like the crew itself, it shows you kind of everyone's expertise and what kind of character they are. It tells you that Miles is a really good jewel thief. He's worked with the crew before, he's experienced, he has his partner there, and then you have Deacon, who like that actor, it's like, I've only ever seen him play an asshole, so you kind of, I just kind of expected he was going to be bad. And I think Deacon really grounds this film, because the film gets over the top, which is great. Unlike the reviewer, I think it's funny. I think there are some really funny things going on in it. It gets very comical, almost cartoony, not to the extreme, but there are some really good set pieces there. But I think the bad guy Deacon really grounds it, because he's no nonsense. I mean, minor spoilers, this happens in the first 5 minutes.
This next section will contain major spoilers. You've been warned.
He ends up killing Martin's friend and crew member, and because he wants a diamond for himself, and Miles, he wants the diamond for himself, and he is about to kill Miles.
Come on, man.
That intro, I think it sets up the stakes, it sets up the character so well, and it's paced so well. And again, what I love is that it shows you. It shows you without telling you. And a pathetically unfunny scene with spurning girlfriend GF, Janice Tamala Jones, which pretty much sets standard for rest of Pick stabs at comedy. Couple things I want to mention here. One is kind of a little nitpick. I don't like this weird way that the reviewer is kind of abbreviating certain words. I don't know if that was like a thing back in '99. I don't know if it meant to be cool or something like that. It makes it much harder to read. But the bigger thing is there's going to be a lot of subjectivity, more so than anything, especially when it comes to a comedy, right? And so I think I found the scene where he meets with his girlfriend after 2 years. He finds out, he's greeted by, again, minor spoilers, by the cousin, but he thinks it's his girlfriend. And then he actually finds his girlfriend, and the exchange that they have, it's like, I loved it. I thought it was really funny.
Did you eat the whole time I was in there?
Again, so comedy is subjective, but I will say he seems to be a fan of, at least the intro made it seem like he's a fan of Martin's comedy. And that scene with the girlfriend, it's very reminiscent of the show Martin, because I watched that growing up. And it's also similar to his stand-up, at least his stand-up at the time. So if you like that, you're going to like this part. So I don't understand what he was expecting. I don't understand what kind of comedy he was expecting, because that's like pretty much straight out of the show Martin. I could see that scene happening. So I'm a little confused as to what the reviewer is expecting here. The hoped-for Lawrence Chappelle chemistry never ignites, and they're left with a series of half-written scenes in which Miles is unable to explain the situation to Tully. So this is where I really disagree with the reviewer. I think the chemistry between Martin and Dave Chappelle is awesome. It's the way they interact with each other throughout the film is great. It's like how friends would interact with each other, especially if one knows that you're lying to someone else, right? And they're trying to get something from you.
He's gay. Gay, gay! That's it, I had enough.
I really enjoyed it. I think those scenes, really highlighted the film. I think it could have become a little bit more generic without Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle really brings a lot of jokes and energy into it. Even though Miles is a criminal, he's a jewel thief, he doesn't cross the same line that Deacon does, right? He keeps trying to save his friend Tully. Like, he has tons of chances to kind of like turn him in or to just arrest him and, make him disappear, but he doesn't, because like they're friends, and like that kind of like plays throughout the entire film, even towards the end, right? Really sums up that Miles, he's a jewel thief, but he's not like a bad guy. So I think it's really important. I think that's played out really well between them. It's one of those reviews where I completely disagree with the critic, right? I think he's wrong. I agree with him on a couple of things. Definitely that the opening is really strong and kind of highlights the characters, again, like what I mentioned before. I know some critics just don't like action or don't like comedies. It doesn't seem like he's one of those. I think he wanted a different type of comedy. But given that it's Martin and he's pretty much playing to his strengths here, it's the same, like I said, it's the same kind of comedy you would expect in Martin or part of his stand-up or something like that. So I don't know what he expected there. I'm going to say it's a good review in the way it's written, even though I disagree with him. So I guess this would go in the good pile.
Damn!
Before we get into our second review, I do want to highlight the Blue Streak DVD. When you pop this bad boy into your DVD player, it goes straight to the menu. No trailers, no commercials. Just another reason why the 90s were awesome. Our next review comes from Roger Ebert himself.
Our next movie is Blue Streak, the latest Martin Lawrence comedy. The film's a blatant ripoff of Eddie Murphy's action comedy mega hits Beverly Hills Cop in 48 Hours, though we do get a lot of Lawrence's unique comic style.
That's what I didn't get. So many reviewers kept comparing Blue Streak to Beverly Hills Cop.
I liked it. It reminded me not of the Eddie Murphy pictures, but of the best of the Lethal Weapon pictures. And I thought that the combination of the action, the chases, and usually I hate chases, and Martin Lawrence, I think this is his best performance. So my thumb is higher up than yours.
Yeah.
But overall, I agree with Roger Ebert. I think he sums it up perfectly there. And so this review goes in the good pile.
Damn!
Let's see what you, the people, had to say about Blue Streak. Foliage 222. Martin is genius in this movie. This is a must-see action comedy. 100% agree. This movie is about how a diamond thief goes inside a police, becoming a cop. To get it goes till what extent? Diameter. Ampersand Libra up. And the final review from yours truly. Shut up, Martin Lawrence. 13 users did not find this helpful. It's one of those movies where like the critics just in general don't like it, just because I guess they don't like it, because they don't generally like action films or comedy films, right? It's very hard to please a critic when it comes to those genres. But the user scores, like if you look here, so the average critic score is about 46. The average user score is about 8.6, which is kind of in line with what I was saying. It's a solid 90s action film, a comedy action film. I really recommend anyone watch it. If I know people don't like action films, or if you don't like Martin's comedy, like watch a few things from Martin. You're not going to like it, right? Because that's all it depends on. Like, if you don't like it, you're just not going to like the film. There's nothing that's going to change your mind about it. But if you do, and even if you just like action, like there's a surprising amount of action in this film. I remember the first time I saw it, like, I expected some stuff, but it gets real nuts, especially towards the end. And it's, because it's the 90s, a lot of it is still practical effects. So I enjoy that more, because I know more and more action movies kind of, once you got into the 2000s, they really started to go more CGI. So it's like you still see a lot of practical effects here. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those films you should definitely check out. But what do you think? Is Blue Streak as bad or generic as some of these critics are making it out to be? Is it really the poor man's Beverly Hills Cop? Or do you genuinely like it? Was Blue Streak your first DVD? If it wasn't, let me know in the comments why not. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe. I plan to have more videos coming out soon. And as always, thank you for watching.